ready? It's the Roundtable with me, Robert Bannon. Oh my God. Just blankness. Robert Bannon has left the building. Well, welcome. Hi. I was dancing and I was excited about this moment with you, and then just blank, empty, blank space, like a Taylor Swift song. Hi, everybody. My name is Robert Bannon. Welcome to the Roundtable. Happy Earth Day Thursday. Earth Day is Saturday, and we're celebrating Mother Earth. There's Mother Earth. There's Mother Teresa. There's Mother Oprah. There's, in Jersey, we say mother something else, but that's a whole other mother. I'm so happy to be with you too, Christine. Happy day to you all there in the Carolinas. Hope you're doing well, and we bring some joy your way. Hi, lattes. That's Janelle there with us. Hey, oh, my friends that are always here. Welcome to the Roundtable. I'm excited to have you here. Yes, right. In Jersey, that's a mother for you. So we're going to have a good show for you tonight. It's a classier show than well, it's a messy good time. Not only is 3-time Grammy winner Tom Chapin here, who you know, Hi, Marie. Hi, Darius Wheeler. Welcome. Hi, Detroit's in the house. So we are going to have a special Earth Day celebration. Yeah, Tom Chapin is here. He's 3-time Grammy winner, legendary children's songwriter and artist, Harry Chapin's brother. And if you know anything about my father, Harry Chapin is the biggest. He's his favorite artist. So we invite Greg. Greg was here at work, handing the phone to people. You're about to witness a mess, a total catastrophe. Hi. Hello, Abby. Oh my goodness, we have a superstar in the house. You better be here. OMG. Everybody's so creative. Hello, Tanara Double Chocolate Productions. Everyone better be following her on YouTube. You better be following her on Instagram. And I know you're already watching on TikTok, because she has been sampled and stolen and taken. Everybody's so creative. It's supposed to look like that. She's the funniest thing. Where's her stand-up special on Netflix? Because I'm here for it. I love you. Philly in the house. That's it. Philly we're making a date. I was thinking about you, Tanara, because I was going to say, like, you're in Philly and I'm doing this show for Pride on June 2nd. And there was a part of me that was like, the people would die. They'd be gagged if you were in New York on June 2nd. Like, how do I get you here? Because if you walked on stage and just took the mic and said, everybody's so creative, and then just dropped the mic and walked off, standing ovation. Literally, people would lose their mind. So I'm just saying, I love you too. I do. Look, your fans are here, Tanara. They're here. All right, let's get to it, because I got so distracted. I get what are they? Starstruck. Have you watched the shows this week? Our bonus show this week was RuPaul, the mother of canine drag superstars. Who talk about everybody so creative. You're supposed to look like that. RuPaul, the first drag superstar dog, was here. So I really am trying to keep it together. Everyone stop. And also, we had speaking of a great time, we did have a really great time with with the Rosie's Theater Kids Foundation. I went with my cousin Adrian. Thank you, A, for being there and helping me run the camera. Yes, that's us with Bowen Yang from SNL. Yes, that's us with Paul Williams, the Academy Award winner. Yes, that's us with Adrian Moore and Tony winner for Tina. Yes, that's us with Tony nominee Efren Sykes. Yes, that's BD Wong, legendary BD Wong. And yes, me and Judy Gold have a thing where I call her, and I just did it. Julie, she's Judy Gold, and I call her Julie Gold, and it runs on and on. If you haven't seen it, check it out. We had a great time at the red carpet. I would absolutely just be a part of it. Hi, everybody. See, I'm going to text you. I'm going to email you. And we're watching and following all things Tanara always. Yeah. Okay. We can make that happen. But she has like a lot of appearances now. She's on news, television. Hi, Mom. My mom is here too. So I had a really good time on this red carpet. Thank you for having us. And not only did Rosie's Theater Kids have us on the carpet to talk to all the stars, but we also got to go to the concert. Look at these babies. Right here in the picture, got a 40,000. Hey. She got a $40,000 scholarship for college from Rosie's Theater Kids on stage. I was crying. I was a hot mess. And then we went to the after party, which was super duper fun. Orphe, Tony nominee Orphe was there to entertain us. I haven't even hit the weekend review button. I'm so distracted by you all. And my shade and Tanara and everybody is here. Here's my weekend review. So that's what I did. I did that and it was a wonderful, great, amazing time. And I had such a wonderful time. And then we had the one and only, my goodness. I gave her first interview. Oh my Lord. Let's get my cooking reviewed by you. Oh, my whole heart just sunk. Thank you, Christine. Yeah, the dog is so cute. And the Rosie Theater coverage, I appreciate you. My mom is here. The Mans is here. We're all here. Tanara, last week's show, we had the experts from Married at First Sight on. We did. And I used the word partner to describe Darius. And oh my goodness, the commotion that it all took over my life. I'm having too much fun. Can we just talk to Tanara and you guys instead of watching the show? You don't want to see my cooking. My cooking tonight was I had chicken and I had rice and I had broccoli. That's not a creative meal. That's not everybody so creative. There was no peanut butter dip chicken that was air fried with licorice. Tanara, do you eat red vines or do you eat licorice, like Twizzlers? Because this was the big conversation on the Instagram. Do we want, this show's so long tonight too, because the interviews are long. So just bear with me. Do you eat red vines or Twizzlers, or do you not like them? And what creative things can we do with them? You know what people do creatively? They cut the tops off. They drink them like a straw. Yes. Darius cooks. He throws like eleganza. This is like the catering era for him. He puts out, like, he doesn't use paper plates, and he puts out serving dishes and candelabras and chandeliers, and he has, petting zoo in the corner for the kids, and turkeys upon turkeys and chickens upon chicken. She does not like a Twizzler. I said I liked a Twizzler. They came for me, Tanara. They came for me. Look, they say she has taste. My trashy Jersey self was ready for a Twizzler because I don't ever had a red vine until last week. It's okay, Tanara. It's okay. We're close. Philly, Jersey. But yes. Oh, Janelle. Not safe for work ideas with a red vine. Maybe I do want to know, but I don't even want to know. But I'm nervous. I feel like I need to take a shower. Well, did I do anything else this week? Have we totally lost control? I met this guy. He watches our pre-show. He's from Nyack. He told us last week he came to the Jennifer Holliday event. This is my friend Diane, came to the pre-show, and I hosted Jennifer Holliday. Marie was there. I hosted Jennifer Holliday. We did the Broadway lecture series with Jennifer Holliday. I am telling you, we had a time, a one-night only extravaganza. It was the first time my Broadway lecture series was done at Stageworks at Studio 237. And it was a lot of fun. And there's my mom and my dad and Jennifer Holliday and me in the shirt that always caused all this commotion. And me and Jennifer had a good old time. She gave great advice. She was very sweet to the kids that were there. She was very sweet to the people who asked questions. And it was a really fun, fun night. See, he doesn't use paper plates. He's conserving for Earth Day today. It's our Earth Day edition. And me and Marie, the Jersey crew, we like a Twizzler. Thank you, Marie. You don't go to the AMC movie theater in New Jersey and can pick red vines. They don't have them. It's like a third world country here. I'm going to do a television show with Chinara. I'm going to do a TV show with her. I'm going to pitch it. It's going to be a 30-minute sitcom. We're going to get rid of our day jobs. Her heels are taller than you, Abby. She came in Crocs. She came in Crocs and changed. Thank you. I liked the shirt. I didn't return it. I wanted to return it. I didn't return it. Darius told me that I probably sweat in them and you can't return them. See, Chinar's, the rest of her family likes licorice and Twizzlers. Just saying. I'm just saying. Well, everybody, I think that's it. I don't remember. Look, I was at the gala, the Rosie Gala, and I was a guest of Robert Band. They had no nameplate for me. It just said guest of Robert Band. Like I wasn't going. Here's the shameless plug. 'Cause I'm shameless. Well, if you're around June 2nd, as we just were talking about, you can come see me. There are 23 regular seats left. So if you want to come see me June 2nd, I will be live at 54 Below. We are opening Pride June 2nd at 9:30. It's a Friday night. If you use the code BANNON5, you'll get $5 off. And look, postcards went out, and look at this little one. How cute is she? I loved it. Thank you for everyone who sent me pictures of them and their family and friends getting the postcards in the mail. If you want to come see the show, it's brand new. It's all diva songs. From Whitney to Diana to Celine to Cher to Madonna. It is Diva Pride out. And then we'll be going around the country doing Pride for the month of June. So get your tickets at 54below.com. It's going to be a one night only special event that it's a brand new show with special guests, and we're working on all of that to come. And the Broadway Lecture Series continues to live as well. Coming up next month on May 13th, Kerry Butler, star of Beetlejuice, Hairspray, Xanadu, Legally Blonde. She's a Tony nominee, and she's amazing. And she will be with us May 13th at 3 o'clock at Stageworks at Studio 237. Go to stageworksnj.org. Get your tickets. You can meet her. You can ask a question. The meet and greet tickets are only $50, and regular tickets are only $29. We make it as affordable as we can, thanks to the Council of the Arts in the state of New Jersey. So get your tickets. Go to Stageworks, right? It was really fun. I think we did a great job, and I think that the place did a great job. So I'm excited to see how it goes from here. And yes, come on. Yes, we would kill it. Yes. We don't have Better Made chips or Faygo, and we don't know what a Coney dog. I don't know what a Coney dog is until Darius told me. He's working on it. Let's go. Yes, let all of this go. It's feast or famine here. It's right. Either no one's talking and it's just pulling teeth, or it's a big old party. So we're here for the party. I love it. 6 weeks from tomorrow, 54 Pride playlist. Yes, there's a big medley in the middle of all songs that I loved growing up, and all Pride anthems, and Donna Summer. 54 Below is the space that was the Studio 54 VIP room. So you know how much mess went on in that VIP room? Do you know what Liza Minnelli did in that VIP room? It probably used a not safe for work red vine. Oh, but that was a different use of a straw than what we're talking about. 54 Below days. Well, we're turning it back into a disco, and we're going to have a great time. So I hope you can join us and be there. We're bringing disco. We are bringing the full disco extravaganza. We are disco ball and all. And it's Pride, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Our Hey Friend Hey, Hold on.
I'll be there for you. How you doing?
Well, our hey friend hey has to go to Tanara. Tanara is here. That's it. Tanara is here. She's a legend. She's a TikTok superstar. So Tanara, thanks for stopping by and saying hey. Face turquoise, covering eyes. Woo, I love the show. Well, to continue with this mess, Tom Chapin is here to talk about Earth Day. And now, since we took 20 minutes and the show is like an hour and a half long, because we have 3 great. You know what? I want to start with Kendall. Can I start with Kendall? We love you, Tanara. You're the best. The best, the best, the best. You're welcome to come here and talk to us anytime. And your star is just growing and getting bigger and bigger. And we're rooting for you every step of the way. June 2nd, I'm just saying, the house will fall down. Kendall is the cutest, sweetest little 6-year-old, and we had the chance to talk. She is the youngest certified farmer. And I had a chance to talk to her. So before we bring Tom Chapin and Lucy Kaplansky on, and we do this whole big shebang, that's going to go on for a minute. I want you to see her because I fell in love with her. She's really, really cute, and it's a little bit of a mess. Take a peek. All right, I hear you. We're good. Hi. How are you?
Good.
I'm so excited to talk to you.
I'm excited too.
I can't wait.
I can't wait.
So, then perfect. We'll record and we'll do it here, and I'll edit it with the opening and everything, and we'll make it. It will be perfect, just like this.
Okay.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. I heard a rumor, Kendall, that you like to work in your garden, that you're a farmer.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you start being a farmer?
Hold the phone.
Hold on 1 second.
Sure.
What place do you live in?
I live in New Jersey, which is
Jersey?
by New York City. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
live by New York City?
I live by New York City, and there's not a lot of gardens in New York City, not a lot of land to farm. So when did you start farming? When did you start planting things?
I started planting things on my great-grandma Kate.
Oh, I love that. You know, Kendall, my dad, he's a landscaper, and he sells trees and seeds and plants and flowers, and I don't know how to do any of that. You're gonna have to teach me how to do that. I don't even know how to. I can't even grow grass or anything.
Okay, I can teach you.
You're gonna teach me? I would love to teach you. What's your favorite thing to grow?
Carrots.
Carrots. I love carrots. You eat them? Well, I saw that you've been on the Ellen Show. You've been on Good Morning America. You've been on Nick News. Everyone's talking about you. Everybody. So let me ask you a question. Earth Day's coming up, right? When is Earth Day? April 22nd?
Yes.
Yes, and guess what?
What?
We're doing a Earth Day parade.
You are doing an Earth Day parade. Where are you doing the parade? Tell me.
It's in the city of South Fulton in Georgia. It's on one of the major arteries called what's the name of that street? That big street down there? Old National Highway.
Oh yeah, National Highway.
Old National Highway. Yeah.
So on April 22nd, Earth Day parade. It's called Dare to Care, and it's the first inaugural Earth Day parade to bring together schools, farmers, sustainable organizations, youth, and adults in the community for parade celebration. And it's being presented by Your Green Heart and the city of South Fulton and Councilman Carmitha Gums. What is Your Green Heart? What do you tell us about it?
That's your nonprofit organization.
nonprofit organization.
Well,
Perfect.
we help and teach other people to be sustainable and grow and learn how to feed themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Why do we, Kendall, have to take care of the earth? Why is it important?
Because the earth is important. It is our home, so we should respect it.
I just want to come to Georgia and give you a big hug and eat a carrot with you. That's what I want to do. And so you have your organization, and then you also have the you tell me how to say it.
Agriculture.
Agriculture.
Agriculture urban farm. What is that?
Agriculture is
It's your farm.
is my farm name.
That's the name of your farm. And you sell things at your farm?
I sell all kinds of things.
Tell me about them all. I want to know.
One time, I did the biggest sweet potato sale in history of sweet potatoes.
History. I love sweet potatoes. And you sell baskets of food?
More like bags of food.
Got it. Perfect. And you have donated food too, right? Do you donate food to people sometimes too?
I donate food, and you know what's our top seller?
What is it?
Our top seller is collard greens. We sold like 300 collard greens.
You sold like 300. Oh, do you eat collard greens?
Yeah.
Does mom make that? You have to cook them a long time and clean them and cut the stems off and boil.
I eat my collard greens raw.
You do?
Just raw collard greens every day.
I'm gonna have to try that. I'm gonna have to try those raw. That many collard greens, and you have your own business. It's a business, right? What is it like to be in business at your age?
Everybody's so creative. Raw collard greens, right?
Is it fun?
Can you say that again?
Is it fun to have your own business and be a business lady?
Yes, really fun. You get to go to places all the time, meet new people. You get to tell them about your business. And sometimes they might try to come over and learn about some things.
Sure. Well, I read on your website that if people want to visit your farm, they can go on a tour. They can get a guided tour. You let people come see your farm and see all the gardens and all of your crops.
Yes.
So everyone's got to go check out the website. The website's going to be right below here, and you can check it out and you can see it. Now, I heard a rumor that you wrote a book. Did you write a book?
I wrote a book.
Tell me, what's it called?
It's called I'm Growing Places.
Get out of here. So tell me, what is the book about?
It's about me planting a seed and wondering what it could be.
Is it a mystery? Do we find out what it is at the end? I can't wait. I'm going to have to buy it. I heard that it's April 22nd is Earth Day, so we could go pre-order it right now. So everyone can have a copy of it so that we can have it for Earth Day. You can order it on the website. It's available on Amazon. I saw it before. You're like an author. Kendall, I'm going to be 40 and I haven't done any of these things. I need to get it together. Yeah. So September 28th out in South Fulton is Kendall Rae Johnson Appreciation Day. What was that like? What was it like when they gave you your own day?
It gave me my own day. It's gonna be so exciting! Woo!
It is so exciting. I love that. All right, so we were talking about collard greens before I let you go and enjoy your day. What's the trick? You told me you eat them raw, and I said I cut the stems off, but I shouldn't throw them out. Why?
Because the stems can actually help you. It can if you use the stems and put it back in the ground, it might just regrow itself on and on and on. If you just keep growing.
Ken, you're a star. You know that?
Mm-hmm.
You're a star. You're a star. What do you want to do when you grow up? What's your dream? What's your goal?
Tell them that.
I want to be
You don't have to know yet. You could change your mind.
She's changed her mind a lot.
That's
She's been a soccer player, a sculptor, what else? An artist, a painter.
You can do it all.
What else?
like
Oh, she want to be was a fashion designer for dolls.
uh-huh. And I just was pretending to be a chef, so there's a lot of choices on my hands.
You have a lot of choices on your hands and a lot of time to figure it out. I know that everybody can go to on YouTube. You can go to a Grow Culture or you can go to Grow Culture on Instagram, and you can go to your website. And if you're in, go ahead.
I know it. Artist.
I love that so much. I can't wait for you to do all of those things. And everyone watching, tell everyone, Kendall, they need to buy your book right now.
Mhm.
Get a copy of the book and take care of the earth, right?
Mhm.
So,
And
Yes.
everyone start their own garden.
Yes.
Should I start my own garden?
Uh-huh.
What should I start growing? I'm not good at it, so give me something easy.
Tomatoes are the easiest things you can grow. There's I can tell you all about them right now.
Please go.
You can put them how deep you want because they can grow roots up their stems.
Amazing. Do you use tomato stakes like a wire, so they grow up?
Because tomatoes can act like vines sometimes.
Yes, that perfect.
And it means really good soil. Like if you have like a old banana peel or like an apple or something, that'll be really good.
Oh, so you make compost piles too? You use your garbage?
And they need lots of water every day.
Okay. And sunlight?
And lots of sunlight. And you might want to grow them where it's like really warm.
Okay, perfect. Well, and Georgia's pretty hot, right? It's pretty warm there. Florida. Well, Kendall, I'm so excited to meet you. If I come to Georgia, I'm gonna have to come have some collard greens with you and visit your farm.
Oh, one more thing I gotta tell you that tomatoes need.
Yes, please.
They need honeybees.
Really?
Bees pollinate the flowers so the plants can grow.
And bees are important, right?
Very important.
There you have it. I mean, can you even go get her book? Her book is available right now on Amazon, Kendall Rae Johnson. She's about the cutest, sweetest little thing ever. And I wanted to take her and just like hug her and squeeze her and plant a tomato plant with her and eat some collard greens. I love your comments. Thank you all for all of the comments. And yes, Chaotic Roundtable is iconic weekly because that's what we do. She's priceless. I love her. Yes, just smart, wonderful, caring young girl and so cute. I love how she cares for our planet. That's why it's important for Earth Day. We need to keep our planet safe and wonderful for people like Kendall and all the next generation. We can't just leave it. And Darius, yes, don't let me grow a garden by myself because, God, everyone has their own skill set. Speaking of skill sets, growing up, You're going to hear me tell the story in a minute. My dad had a favorite artist. His name was Harry Chapin, and Tom Chapin, his brother, has been a 3-time Grammy winner who sings and talks about the earth as well. We spent he was very generous. He gave us a long time. And you want chaos? Just have Greg Bannon be a part of something. God help us. Tom Chapin is here. So growing up, we took a lot of road trips and a lot of trips all around the world and country. My dad had a white Mustang with an 8-track player, and there was a 8-track that as a kid, I'm going to try not to get emotional about this because it's the music of growing up that we listened to over and over. And when you're a kid, an 8-minute song about flying in a taxi, we did not get. But growing up then and hearing the music of this family, the albums as a teacher that Tom Chapin has written for students, and for everything that this family has done and stood for, I was so honored and excited to have Tom Chapin join the show, and to have my dad here as well means so much. So all my life is a circle, and this is definitely a circle moment. Ladies and gentlemen, 3-time Grammy winner Tom Chapin is here.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Chapin.
As you were giving that great introduction, I thought I would do the introduction to Taxi. Here right in the heart of Frisco.
We have
hello.
We literally grew up to your family's music, and then as an educator and as a teacher in early childhood, my first job was at the John Harms Center for the Arts in Englewood, New Jersey, which is now Bergen Pack. And we would come through almost every year and sell out shows for children. Your happy birthday, your album. I mean, it is something that is really valued. And so we're so grateful for you and your family's artistry through these years. Thank you.
Oh, what a delight. Thank you. It's been a wonderful ride, and what makes it better is when you find people who have hopped on for part of it, and because really if you think about it, writing a song and doing a concert and recording is kind of a leap of faith. You throw it out there and you hope that somebody's listening and we've been just lucky and blessed that how many people have picked up on what we do, which is great.
Well, and congratulations to your family and your daughters. My dad is here. He's settled in here. Hi, Dad. Dad.
Hey.
Hi.
He can sing any of your family's music from beginning to end.
Word for word.
Word for word.
Wow.
And I know that your daughters and you, the Chapin Sisters and the Chapin family and the legacy of music and work, we've gotten to see your daughters and you do concerts before. And Tom, 26 recordings, 3 Grammy Awards. What a legacy of art you have left, and your advocacy.
Well, if you last long enough and you keep doing stuff, every once in a while something bounces in your way. And the Grammys, I was nominated 8 times for Grammys and we won 3, so I'm a 5-time loser actually.
Well, can we talk about growing up for a moment? You grew up in New York
Sure.
City. You have a famous musician father and an artist's family.
Well, my dad was famous to a small number of people, and that was jazz drummers. Because in 1948, he wrote a book called Advanced Techniques for the Modern Drummer. And it's the first time anyone had put in a book, and the best ever since of independent coordination. What do you do with this hand and your foot, and it's almost impossible to finish. And so the last part of his life, he had all his acolytes, these young drummers who studied the Chapin book. Oh, he had the white book, the Chapin book. And I remember my dad, would go to the NAMM show every year. One of the cymbal companies would fly him out to, when he couldn't drive anymore, he would fly him out to California, and he'd sit there 8 hours a day at the NAMM show with a little practice pad in a lap. And these drummers would come up and say, "Could you play that?" And and he was not your normal dad. He was not someone who taught you how to spit and whistle and fish and stuff, because he was on the road. And he and my mom divorced when I was 3. But he had more fun than the rest of the world. And so his sons kind of aimed at, felt like music was a delight, but it was also work. It was a serious job. And we got that from him, and that drew. I wrote a song called Distant Drummer about a story he told us. He was 17 and flunking out of school, 17, I think, and flunking out of his freshman year at Bard. But his roommate had jazz records. He was an only child, kind of spoiled kid. This is my dad. And he listened to these big band records and said, wow, this is great. And his roommate said, well, they're playing right down at 52nd Street. Why don't we take the train down one Saturday night and go see them? So he went and saw the Benny Goodman Quintet. And on drums was, what's his name? My brain is going, but the great jazz drummer. I'll think of his name in a minute. But Dad watched him, and halfway through the show, at one of the breaks, he goes up, could you teach me how to play? And the guy says, hey, I don't teach kids, but you should talk to Sanford Moeller. And so these stories goes on. Sanford Moeller had learned from men who had been drummer boys in the Civil War. And now he's in New York City, and they're now 80 years old, 75 years old. This is 1937. And they're still playing great, because when they were 10 and 12 and 15 playing on the battlefield, they had to play all, reveille to taps. I'm channeling my dad right now. This story.
Please, no.
And so he said, and so they learned they couldn't play like this, like rock and roll drummers start to play like this. You had to play like sideways like this, hold it like this, and just throw it down, boom, and then blah, blah, blah. And they're playing terrible drums, these 3-foot calfskin drums. They had a Gene Krupa is the drummer that he loved, and so he went and found Sanford Moeller, who taught my dad how to play. Within a year, my dad was playing professionally and never went back to school, and he became the teacher of the Moeller method, which was this method. Okay, now Dad's 40. Skip ahead. Dad's now 49 years old. He gets a call from Gene Krupa, who had just come out of the hospital, and he says, Jim, I'm having a tough time playing. Would you teach me how to play it again? Wow. Circle. And so he does. He works with Gene Krupa. So he wrote this song about Distant Drummer. And I got a chance to sing it for him before he went. He said, "Man, you made me a folk hero."
That's you did. Well, you guys.
So we grew up with these stories and the idea that music was not magic. It was not, and writing and music was not. God gave you this great talent into your, thunderbolts, and you make this. No, it's work every day, and you come and you do a good job. And so in a sense that's the greatest lesson we got from our dad, was that sense of, hey, this is great fun, but it's also a real job. You go there, you get there on time, you do the best thing you can, and then you go on about your business. And so we've lived that from, it was great.
And you went on and you teach that through your music and through your work ethic and through the legacy you left. In 1966, 60, you and your brothers.
You got that great picture. That's at the Jongleur and that was our longest road trip. It's in Jacksonville, Florida. That club is long gone, and we were there for 6 days. In those days, you'd get a club date, and you play 2 shows a day at a club, and you play from maybe Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And now you play a club, and it's like one show out. But we drove down with my dad. I'll never forget it, all the way down to Florida, and played that. And you see, we were all dressed up, man. We look real clean. Look at that.
Yes.
If you put it up again, I'll tell you who's who there.
Yes, please.
Picture up again. Okay, now on the far left is my dad on the drums. He's playing kunga, whatever number this is. Harry's playing a banjo, which I actually have still. And then my brother Steve's playing electric bass, and I'm playing a guitar on the right. So on the far right, Steve's in the middle. I'm about 17 there. Steve's about 16. Harry's about 19. And my dad, and that's the Chapins, the Chapin brothers, and my dad played. And we did some stuff. We didn't never had a real record contract, but we did one record. And in one day, we just went in and played. And Dad was he played with us during the summer. If he wasn't working, we'd say, come play. So it's fun.
I love that, and I love the story that you all as brothers, and the intertwine. I have one brother. My dad has brothers too. When you have brothers, my one brother, he's not artistic. He's not going to play, but the bond between brothers is very strong, and you have always. Steve and you and Harry and the legacy that you guys have had brothers, you all played for each other, you all wrote songs together, you sing each other's music, you have sung. It's really a labor of love to see your family and the support you give and the way you all travel and support and lift each other up. It is a really beautiful thing to see.
It's a blessing to be part of, and now as you mentioned, I have daughters who sing like angels, and that's like, I can see what my dad felt like, it was interesting because my daughters were thinking about maybe putting together a group, and I told them, oh, you know what, they're gonna really try to do this, and Dad goes, the daughters are gonna sing, yay! He was 89, he died within 6 months of that, but it was great. The idea that the music, pass the music on. It's one of the songs we sing. When we all get together, there's a song that opens the second act of our the Chapin family. We're doing these shows now. This would have been Harry's 80th year. He would have been 80 last December 7th. So we have a show called Harry Chapin at 80, and it's the Chapin family, and all of us sing. Harry's daughter Jen and her band, my daughters Abigail and Lily. And if Jessica, who lives in the West Coast, she's nearby, she'll come, but she's not the full time. And then Steve and Big John Wallace and Howie Fields, John Wallace's son. And we've been doing it with a cellist now again, and those songs are so great with the cello. And me, and it's a magical evening. And we're doing one in Philadelphia coming up at the Cheswick.
Yes, I saw, and tickets are on sale. And while we have you here and we're talking about upcoming events, May 9th, New York City, Tom Chapin City Winery, Lucy Kaplansky it's going to be a beautiful night. What a beautiful venue on the Hudson River.
It's so lovely. And Lucy is just great. We've never done a show together other than, some kind of festival or, an event where I sing a song and Peter Yarrow sings a song, with 17 people are there. So it'll be really fun to hear her. I imagine we'll try to do some stuff together at the end. That's usually how these things work with us folkies,
No, that's the best part. That's what I love so much. When we're talking about the family and the Chapin family music, if you don't mind for one more second.
Sure.
You usually include some of your brother's music in your songs. And I heard you speak about some of the most popular songs that you all were all a part of. I saw a video on YouTube, Cats in the Cradle. Is not about him, and it was actually about his wife and inspired. Can you tell us a little bit about how the song came to be?
Well, Harry was, what's interesting about this is Harry, of course, was on the road like crazy when his career started, and he had 2 kids and 3 stepchildren. So everybody assumes it was and Sandy wrote the words. So everybody said, "Oh, this is about this. She's nailing him," But it was about actually her first husband and his father. And she watched that go down. Who died? He died early. I mean, it was not a happy guy. And she showed up this poem that she'd written to Harry, and he goes, "Wow, this could be a great song." And so he took it and made it rhyme and make the whole, and tightened it up, and it became Cats in the Cradle. And the thing that's interesting was that they recorded it for that record, and what's going to be the single? And Jack Holzman says, "That Cats song, that's the single." Harry goes, "What? This is like a folk song. You never heard anything like this on the radio. You can't have this as a single." And they argued, and luckily Jack won because it became Harry's #1 hit. And now it's ubiquitous. It's a song that almost everybody knows. There's a wonderful thing this is also the 50th anniversary of Cats in the Cradle being released. But this year, But there's a Harry documentary out now called "When in Doubt, Do Something." There it is, "When in Doubt, Do Something," a film by Rick Horn, and it's really a wonderful, wonderful documentary. And it starts with the family and then goes through Harry's whole miraculous career. And then after he gets killed, it talks about, hey, you know what's still going on? Why hunger and Long Island Cares and the Harry Chapin Food Bank and all that stuff that's happened after Harry's death. But to stay with the Cats in the Cradle, they have this about, I don't know, 8-minute thing in the middle of all the Cats in the Cradle things on TV and in movies. It's in Shrek, for goodness sake. You know, it's the donkey and the Cats in the Cradle and the horse, and Stephen Colbert and a bunch of TV shows. So I'm somewhere out with Harry's looking at that and going, yeah, Jack was right.
Well, I watched the documentary on a flight home from LA. I literally was on a plane and I saw it, and I sometimes sing Cats in the Cradle in my own show. I did a song about my father and we merged them together, and
love to hear it.
We put it together, and I was on the plane and I'm sobbing watching the documentary, because once I hear A Better Place to Be, or once I hear WLD, or once I hear Love Song, like I just remember being that 10, 11-year-old kid in the car with him from beginning to end. And it's such a legacy. And my dad has a story that he wanted to tell you.
Great.
So please.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, because it's saying something about mute. I'm not that technical.
We hear you.
When I just got out of high school and I was working construction with my brother, Harry was supposed to be doing a free concert at the Meadowlands in New Jersey after the races. And my brother turned around and said to me, come on, after work, we'll go home, and like 10 o'clock, we'll head out and we'll go see Harry. And I said, no, that's all right. I said, I'll see him the next time. I'm really, really tired. And a couple months later, he got killed. And I never saw him in person.
Really?
And I regret that.
And so
he was an amazing character to watch live. Not the best voice in the world, but the best heart in the world.
Yes.
You know, and he could tell those stories, and he adored playing live. You know, he just loved the thing of, here we are, I got stories tonight, and you know, he's just like, and it was wonderful to watch him. I remember doing, you know, his last few years, I was his benefit band, because he was trying to raise money all the time, and he didn't want to bring the big band because it was expensive to fly everybody someplace, you know. So he called me up and said, you know, I'm going out to Washington, and then I'm going to do a couple of shows in Wisconsin, you know, in someplace. And so, what are you doing this weekend? And I said, well, I'm off. He said, oh, come on. So he'd pay me a little bit and pay my way, and the two of us would do these shows. And I remember that we did 5 shows in 2 days up in Canada, right? So here's the third show on the second day, and we're like this. And I remember him being totally tired and stuff. But about 20 minutes in, he goes, and he just gathers himself and makes that show magical again. It was such an interesting thing to watch. You know, sort of like my dad, who at the end of his life, Steve would bring him up to Canada. My brother Steve has a campground called the Ovens up and there's music all summer long. And the last years of my dad's life, he would fly him up there for a week or two, and in the evening he'd be on the drums and Steve be on the piano instead, and they'd be doing music from my dad's era, you know, because Steve didn't want to be playing Elton John and you know, and Piano Man, and nothing after 1945. So he really learned all those old songs. And Dad would sit in, and they'd go back and forth. And Dad comes in that year, and Dan, my half sister Dana had driven him up from New York, 18 hours in a day and a half. They're driving, and this guy is now 88 years old, and he arrives looking like, you know, like death warmed over. And he comes in and he gives him something to eat, and he's like this, and then he goes over, sits behind the drums, and he goes, and all of a sudden, you know, the Phoenix Rising, man.
Yes. I love that. Well, can we take a little walk down memory lane with some of your albums and some of your work? I remember this album greatly. It was to huge acclaim. It kind of started the whole you as
Yeah.
a family entertainer.
Yeah. And that's I'll tell you about that cover. It was done by Susan Reed, who I didn't realize when I met her, because we moved up to Rockland County, and she lived in Nyack, and she had this crazy hippie clothing store when she was in her 70s, but she did this wonderful folk art stuff. See, all the fields there are all pieces of cloth, and that she pasted on, and then she painted on top of that. And so I said, well, I'm doing a family recording. Would you think about maybe doing a cover? She said, oh, I'll try. And so I gave her the songs. And it wasn't until later, like a year later, that she came up with this fabulous thing. She did the first 4 albums all like that. They're all like this, the same way, with the beautiful things. Well, Susan Reed was the Judy Collins of her day. There was 3 people who could sell out a concert in New York at a club. One was John Jacob Niles, this crazy singer of old ballads. One was Josh White, the great blues singer. And the third was Susan Reed, who played Celtic harp and had a beautiful tenor, soprano voice, and was beautiful, big, long, red hair. And she retired, when she was in her 50s. She did a couple of movies and stuff. So it was one of these things where, wow, it was like this meeting of this incredible history. It fits so well with what we do. And she made this beautiful, I have that picture downstairs. In fact, I have all of them here, that moonboat picture's right here. And that she made. She's gone now. She got a dementia in her last couple of years, and then died. But what a lovely, lovely woman. And I'd send her the lyrics of the songs we just written, and she said, oh, and she just was over the moon about it, because she was such a lover of the folk tradition and the songs and stuff. And she made this beautiful thing. So that was Family Tree. That's the first one.
Yes. And if you want to purchase copies of these, if you want the music, if you want to see where he's going to be, go to tomchapin.com, and your catalog is available, your albums, your downloads, and all of that information. So as we're talking about them, make sure you check out tomchapin.com.
Great. And also, I should mention now, we started doing the kids stuff. My music has always been collaborative with other people. I started with my brothers, the idea of we get together and we make the music. And so when I started the kids stuff, I went to one of the best songwriters I know. Steve and I had done records that there were multiple platinum records about the Cabbage Patch Kids.
Yes.
Steve and I produced Cabbage Patch Dreams and then Cabbage Patch Christmas. And we had to do it in like 3 weeks. So Steve got together all his buddies, because Steve was working in the city doing ad work. He wrote "Brush Your Breath, Brush Your Breath, Brush Your Breath with Dentine" and those kinds. And my daughter Jessica was spaghetti-os. So Steve had all these great writers, and we got them all together. And one of them was John Forster, great, funny and classically trained, and also but a real theater guy. And so I went to John and said, I've been thinking of really doing a kids record. You would like to help me? He said, sure. So what do you want to do? So we thought about it. Said, let's use the folk forms. The story song, a round, an answer song, a list, all these things that we've all learned. And we even took On the Big Rock Candy Mountain and changed the words from a cigarette trees to the bubblegum trees, made it a kid show. So that was the first record, and we needed a female singer on a couple of the songs, the rounds. So I called up Judy Collins's office and said the songs and said, I don't know if Judy wants to do this. She was a friend of Harry's. I'd done some opening acts for her. And she called me back in a couple of weeks. Actually, her secretary did, and said, Judy wants to know when the recording session is. So she came and sang these 3 songs, and that the record was already a really good record, but that made it special, and it was so lovely of her to do that. And then that record is still the best selling of the kids' records, and people have called it one of the top 10 tapes of all time and stuff. But every song is a winner on there.
It is
Shoveling and This Pretty Planet, which ended up being played on to wake up the astronauts on this Discovery 7 space shuttle. Woke up John Glenn. And it was one of the songs that Christopher Reeves and his wife Dana always said was so powerful for them when they were going through their terrible problems with physical problems. This pretty planet spinning through space, you're a garden, you're a harbor, you're a holy place. Golden sun going down, gentle blue giant, spin us around all through the night. Safe till the morning light. Around, so you need more people, but that's it.
No.
Next time I'll do it with you, Robert.
That was an honor. Anytime. Speaking of that pretty planet, it's a book.
It's a book, and it's also that's the book, which it's beautiful. Lee White did such fabulous drawings, and this is the third of the books we did on my songs. The first was the Backwards Birthday Party, and the second was There It Is, and the second was the from the library song, which became the library book. Yes. And the third is This Pretty Planet. And actually that has some more lyrics to it because when in 2000, either 2000, 2001, there was we wanted to do a recording for kids, a collection of all the environmental songs. And so we called it, of course, This Pretty Planet. But we wrote a second version of it, which was instead of being in 4/4, da, 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 1, 2, 3, 4, we did. And we wrote some verses that go, winds blow, tides flow, shooting stars descend. Our lives begin, middle and end on this pretty planet. Spinning through space, you're a garden, you're a harbor, you're a whole place. We realized it's really a gospel feel. So I was lucky enough to get Sissy Houston, the mother of Whitney Houston, to sing with me on this. It's like having Mother Earth herself sing. One of the great background singers of all time. She was on RESPCT and all Otis Redding stuff and all the Motown stuff. Sissy Houston, but she was living in Newark and had a choir there. And so she came, and then because she was there, we got Fonzie and Venice Thomas and all these wonderful backgrounds. About like 5 of the best Black background singers there. And so there's the track, which is on the recording, This Pretty Planet, which has it. I'll show you I think I got one sitting right here. Let me see.
Yes, please.
If I can reach it, there it is. Hold on 1 second. You gotta get up and get it. Boom. There it is.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And this is a guy named Jerry Smith who did this wonderful cover. And This Pretty Planet. And so there's both versions. There's a version, there's a gospel version with a gospel choir that just is so moving. John Colbert does great piano chords and stuff. And then it ends with the original one with Judy Collins. It's so sweet. She came in and said, well, I can't sing like she does, because she heard Judy's sweet, voice. And I said, I know. I want your voice on this, and she was so great and gracious and what a wonderful, wonderful gal. And was such a musician. I mean, it's like, royalty.
Royalty.
So this has actually been re-released for this Earth Day. It's something that you feel like you want to do these songs and they do their work. It's not, but their work is not done yet. We are right now in a situation where it gets more and more dire. And if you want to have some just wonderful songs and wonderful, there's also so many people here. There's Beausoleil plays on a track of Good Garbage. So it's like it's Cajun rock. And Dan Zane's the other children's performers on here, and Judy Collins and Sissy Houston, and Brother Steve helps for the song, and it's just great. Here's the inside of it, with the wonderful
What a beautiful
All
album. Beautiful, beautiful.
Isn't that beautiful? This is a guy named Jerry Smath, who's also gone, one of the great illustrators of children's books. And he made this incredible world with me under the tree. We're looking at all the animals and the whales. And so that's great. So that's available, and we're going to, and it's coming and being re-released with a couple of new songs on it, some songs that I did later. And so that go on with your storytelling, but that's what I wanted to say.
TomChapin.com. He'll sign. You can get a signed copy, and you can have a copy and give it and listen to it as a family. I teach 5th grade here in North Bergen, New Jersey, and in my day job, in my real life, and we are looking for music that inspires, especially as a science and history teacher. And we have a series. I may have to email your assistant and you afterwards. We have Dar Williams came and played for our students and talked about songwriting. We've been trying to incorporate music and the importance of art and music inside of the classroom. And you've been very outspoken about how important it is for students and children to have art and art education in their life. I know it's one of the causes that you are near and dear to your heart.
Well, this is a funny little song we wrote. They sorted through the data and found as a rule the kids who have the arts do much better in school. And on the canvas on the page, art gives life to the lessons they learn on the page. Oh, you can't spell smart without art. You can't spell smart without art. Let's put it together and da-da-dee-da. Oh, you can't spell smart without art. There's verses to it. But I was asked to, when they were having a congressional hearing up in Albany about funding for the arts in schools, they asked me to come up and you know and give a little speech. And well, my speeches are mostly songs. So John Hobart, the piano player, and Michael Mark and I were on the road the week before, and John says, "Well, you can't spell smart without art." And I went, "Bingo!" So we wrote that on the plane, and I sang for my when I appeared before these guys said, "We never had that before."
Well, I just one more thing before I don't mean to keep you and take your time.
I'm good. I'm happy here. This is a delight.
Your work as a family, besides art and activism, is also about hunger in this country. Yeah. You've been a part of Why Hunger for since its inception. We are going to ask our viewers today to make a donation, even if it's $5, in honor of you coming on and taking your time and playing music for us today and to provide help. Why is this cause still as important today as it was years ago, if you don't mind sharing?
Well, it's a thing that Harry understood early on, which is there's enough food to feed the world. And in America, there's enough to feed Americans 10, 12 times over. And yet, during the COVID, it blossomed up to like 50 million people in food distress, not knowing where the food is. And of those, it was like 17 million were children, and a lot of the old people as well. So I remember Harry saying, hunger is a disgrace, but the ultimate disgrace is hunger in America. And so, and he that organization started with Harry and Bill Ayers, who was an ex-priest who had a radio show on this rock, I think PLJ every midnight on Sunday night for years and years and years. And I was on his show, and I said, "You should talk to my brother Harry." Because I was on his show because I had the TV show then, Make a Wish, yes. And Harry was just starting, and he already had taxis, so he was well known. So Harry went, and he and Bill found out they lived, a few miles apart in the island, and they got together for supper one night, and they started talking about, well, how can we make a difference? And they started talking about hunger. And they were going to do a Bangladesh concert. Remember the Bangladesh concert where all these major artists, and they were doing it for the UN and do it for hunger. Well, it never quite happened. But in the course of them really thinking about this, they realized even if it had happened, it's like a flashbulb. This wonderful thing happens, and then everything goes back to usual. He said the only way to really solve something like this is to be here today, next week, next year, 10 years from now. And they that was when they had this idea of a hunger organization that would affect hunger, put hungry people in touch with food, help them towards self-reliance, and change the whole idea here that it's not a privilege to be fed, it's a right, food justice. And they've been doing that for years. It's not solved, but the whole dynamic has changed. Even the way people talk about hunger has changed because of Why Hunger. And they do wonderful work, and it's an ongoing thing. And as Harry and Bill said, well, I guess we're going to spend the rest of our lives doing this.
Yeah.
And so far, I had never made that pledge, but here I am.
On the board, and yes, literally.
So I've been the longest one on the board. I had to go off for a year now, and they asked me to come back on, so I'm coming back on, and which is great. And it's an astonishing organization, doing wonderful work, and it's the legacy of Harry, really, who once said, it's a bit boring being a rock star to do the same thing every night and go around. I love playing for people. Don't get me wrong, but there's got to be something more about it. And so he used the bully pulpit, and a lot of people were, as they articulate in that movie that we talked about. They talked to Ken Cragen, who started Heads Across America and We Are the World. He said, it's like Harry crawled up inside me and took over, and I had to do these things. And so he was a remarkable guy. I mean, I think of him as a great man, and I was blessed to be a brother. It wasn't always the easiest thing being next to a great man, but it was a wonderful ride, and I loved it, dearly.
As are your brother. I mean, Steve Chapin is an amazing piano player and vocalist, amazing piano player. And all that.
So if you're anywhere near Philly, or you want to see Harry Chapin, a retrospective, here's see the Chapin Sisters having a Philly. We're working on we actually had the last show, which was first one we've done since before COVID. And the first one of this type, we did it in Patchogue, Long Island, and it was just astonishing. And luckily, we had it filmed, and we're in the process of putting that together. So there'll be a video of that available coming up in some months. But I've been looking at it and just going, oh my gosh, this is really,
I can't
really
wait.
amazing.
And if you're in the New York area, make sure Tom Chapin, Lucy Kaplansky, Intimate Evening of Stories and Song coming up on May 9th. You can go get information for all of this on tomchapin.com and follow Tom at Tom Chapin Music on Instagram if you want to stay on top of everything. Can I impose on you to play us a little something out?
Sure. Let's see. Well, it's coming on to Earth Day.
Yes.
A stegosaurus in the forest munching on some hay, lay down to snooze in a bed of ooze and sadly passed away. Her body changed and rearranged as she sank beneath the soil, and over time she turned to slime and then she turned to oil. So she disappears for a jillion years till finally she is found by a guy named Bill with an oil drill who sucks her from the ground. Bill pipes that poor old dinosaur to an oil refinery where they bubble and boil and change that oil into stuff for you and me. RECYCLE. That's the way it's supposed to be. The earth recycles and so do we. RECYCLE. Now from the late Jurassic, it's fantastic how our dino friend has now become petroleum, and still that's not the end. From dino juice, they now produce 1 billion plastic jugs, and Stegosaurus drinking straws and Stegosaurus mugs. RECYCLE. That's the way. That's the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be. The earth recycles, the earth recycles, and so do we. RECYCLE. There was. and down. That's the way the system works. Things don't disappear. We turn sand into window glass and roots into root beer. We cut and mine and we refine and make these things, and then is not just once, not just twice, but again and again and again and again and again. And if a dinosaur could see us pouring orange juice this way from a plastic jug we made of her, well, this is what she'd say. It took me 80 million years to get to you today. So don't throw that mug, don't throw that jug, don't you throw me away. R-E-C, I-C-L-E, that's the way it's supposed to be. We're just a link in a chain of history. R-E-C-Y-C-L-E, use it again. R-E-C-Y-C-L-E, and again. R-E-C-Y-C-L-E.
Ah, you better play that guitar. Yes. You better play that guitar, Tom Chapin, everybody. Thank you. It's such an honor to be with you. I can't wait to be there on May 9th and see you live and in person.
Thank you, Robert. Thanks for having me, man. Be well.
There you have it. Tom Chapin was here. My dad was here trying to figure out how to work his phone. We are always a hot, stinky mess. You know, there's another guest on tonight's show. We're in late. I was thinking about it. Should I not do it? Should I do it? Should I not do it? Should I do it? Should I not do it? Yeah, Marie, storytelling at its best. That family knows how to tell a folk story with song. I just love them. Well, Lucy Kaplansky and him are going to be at City Winery. They're doing a great show of folk music. And I figured, you know what? Let's do it. We're here, right? We've already been an hour and 15 minutes. We might as well just keep the party going. Lucy Kaplansky on the Roundtable. Our favorite things on this show is to talk to artists about art and to talk about songwriting. And we've had some of the best songwriters. Many of them are Lucy's collaborators or friends like Terry Roach and Dar Williams and etc. and have all been here. And I'm because I can't write for anything. And I'm so fascinated about people who share their heart and their art with us. And Lucy has albums that go back. And we have listened all day today in our 5th grade classroom in New Jersey. And I'm so excited to talk to her. Lucy, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
I remember, I can tell you, as a little musical nerd growing up in New Jersey, when this came out. And I was working at a performing arts center in Englewood, New Jersey, and there was a Coconuts Records around the corner. And I remember it being played and buying a copy. So it's really nice and an honor to talk to you.
Oh, I'm so happy to join you. Thank you.
You have one of the most fascinating journeys to music.
It's a nice way of putting it.
You're from Chicago.
Yeah.
And your father was a famous mathematician.
Yeah.
And at 18, you moved to New York and start to build connections and work, Suzanne Vega and the Roaches and Shawn Colvin, etc. And then you decide not to do music.
Yeah.
I can relate in my own way. Please tell us about it.
Well, at the time, I was telling myself I didn't want to do music, but looking back, I was just really scared and conflicted and was running away. So it took me a long time and a lot of psychotherapy to figure that out. But I ended up becoming a psychologist in the meantime, and then quit that when I realized I really wanted to do music.
Yeah, in 1983, you go to Yeshiva University for psychology and give up music. I went to Juilliard for musical theater, and at 18, gave up musical theater to become a school teacher and got my and then started back in music. And at 33, I called my album Unfinished Business because I felt like it chased me. Like I wanted to. And did you feel, when you got rid of it, did you feel relieved? Were you missing it?
I definitely wasn't relieved. I knew there was something wrong especially when specifically my friends, Shawn Colvin and Suzanne Vega, started to get famous. Well, Suzanne Vega got famous, was already famous, and then Shawn started to get famous. And what I was feeling was just not only jealousy, but just like Pain. And that was kind of a little bit of a giveaway, like something's not right here. So I eventually figured it out, but it was not it was a hard time.
Absolutely. Well, I've seen both of them, and Luca's on the second floor forever and lives in
What a great song.
When you got back into doing music, Shawn Colvin was very prevalent in that. I know produced your first album at that time. Were you always writing music, or was that something that stopped as well?
I almost never had written music. I'd written like 1 or 2 songs before I was 34 years old. So writing, I just didn't think of myself as someone who could write. And it took actually doing it and then writing some songs that people liked that I mean, I still don't quite see myself as a writer to this day, more of a singer, but whatever. I mean, I guess I've written a bunch of songs, read them all with my husband, Rick Litvin, and he's taught me so much. He's so talented. Writing was something I didn't do till much, much, much later.
So fascinating. Well, can we take a little memory lane, look at some of the albums that I dug up?
Sure.
And you look at like going back to Flesh and Bone, or this album, which is The Red Thread, which is, we were listening, like I said, today in the classroom.
Oh, nice.
And Over the Hills, and your latest album, which is called Last Days of Summer. I love the album you wrote in 2000. I think it's 2002. Being in New York, New Jersey, our tri-state area, memorializing and making a moment out of 9/11 and all of that. What a piece of art, and what a beautiful album you wrote.
Thank you.
You found inspiration, and it means a lot when you listen to those words. An album like Last Days of Summer, what was the inspiration, and what do you think is the overall theme? Is there an arc to the story? You have fun covers, you have fun originals. What is
people always ask me, is there an arc? I mean, not really. It was just like a collection of songs. I mean, we wrote most of them during the pandemic, when I was home for the first time in 25 years and not going anywhere and had all this time. So there's certainly there's songs that are absolutely kind of about the various aspects of being in the middle of a pandemic. And then there's also completely unrelated song about our daughter leaving home to go to college. So I wouldn't say there's an arc, but it's sort of the story of that time for me. How's that?
Perfect. Yes. And that's another historical moment we will all remember, where we were in 2020 and what we did.
That's right. That's right.
So now you're back on the road. I mean, you have dates. You can go to the website. You're Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, Virginia, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, all around the country. What has it been like after taking that break to pick up your instruments and get back on a stage and be in front of people?
Initially, like the first couple of gigs, it felt completely weird. Like, what am I doing up here? I don't know how to do this. I don't remember how to do it. And then it all just sort of came back to me and kind of felt like I never stopped, which was weird because I did stop for 2 years. But now it just sort of feels normal. I mean, the whole thing feels normal. I mean, the only thing that's changed is I personally wear a mask most of the time when I'm out, and I have not yet gotten COVID. So I'm just trying to be super careful. But other than that, everything's kind of the same. Luckily, people still are coming to shows, and people are buying albums.
Yes. Well, I was going to ask you, you've been pretty on your website and outspoken, and I appreciate it, as artists everywhere do, about how kind of difficult the game has changed in the recording world, from the CD, streaming, giving away your music and your art literally for free. So you made a decision to stream or to buy The Last Days of Summer, available exclusively on your website. How has you seen the business change, and what do you think about it in terms of a living and the work you have to do to make all of those things happen nowadays?
Well, so the main thing that's changed is that streaming services have completely decimated album sales. So people don't buy albums anymore. And I had this revelation in 2018 I was walking the dog and I thought, well, what if I make an album and it's not on streaming services? Because all my previous albums were on a record label and those are on Spotify and Pandora and so forth. And I've had some success on those. But what if I don't? Will people buy it? Like old school, like the way you get to have music is you buy it. And I remember I called my husband and I said, what do you think of this idea? And he said, sounds good. Don't overthink it. Just do it. And I did. So my last 2 albums, and they're not actually streaming. They're just available for purchase. You can listen. I think you can actually listen on my website. Yes. That's true. But to actually have the music available, you have to buy them. And people have bought them. And I'm really grateful. And because for people, right. So for artists like me in the music world, this huge source of income disappeared. And it's not a good model. The old model doesn't work anymore for people like me. So I kind of invented a new model, kind of, sort of, and I'm selling albums and the money's all going to me, which is really gratifying.
I loved it. I saw it, I read it, and I was like, I need to ask her because this is brilliant. If you want to buy a physical copy of the album, she'll sign it and you can grab it and mail it to you.
Or a download. You can buy a download on the website. Yeah.
Because when you look at a song like More Than This, which is on Spotify and has tens of millions of streams, people don't realize that. They think they're supporting the artist. You get pennies in a check, something like that.
Yeah, no, it's just not for people who have like 100 million streams, you start to make a little bit of money, but it's not income producing for artists. It's really not a fair system.
No. When you put together your set list of shows, if we're going to come see you at City Winery, or we're going to come see you, I'm going to City Winery. I'm so excited about May 9th, everybody. If you're in New York City, firstly, City Winery, it's a beautiful space.
It
Look
is.
at the Hudson River. Listen to Lucy, Tom Chapin, and Lucy. Like, what can be a better evening of songs and stories? So when you make a set list and you have this collection of albums and music and some really iconic covers, like Thunder Road and the new cover on the album, like These Boots Are Made for Walking, etc. How do you build a set list to satisfy the audience and yourself?
Well, I don't actually make set lists. I make it up as I go. I know what the first couple of songs are going to be. But then I wing it. So it's partly kind of, I take requests. That's part of how I build a set. I see how I'm feeling, what I feel like doing, what seems to be right in that moment. So yeah, I have a lot of songs to choose from, and it's kind of different every night.
That makes for a really fun experience.
It's more fun for me. It's also scarier, but it's more fun for me.
So that shook me. So no. But that living without the safety net makes it for an experience where you're not sitting there thinking about what you're going to order for dinner while you're in the middle of singing the song for the 1,000th time in a tour, 100th.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully I'm not. And it's definitely just, let's see what happens right now, in the next 5 minutes.
When we're talking about cover songs, Wish It Would Rain and Thunder, etc. When you decide to record those, are they songs that mean something to you? Is there something artistically that you find interesting in them? How do you come to record a cover like that?
I mean, I have to love the song. And a lot of like Thunder Road, like that was a fluke. So I mentioned to an audience I had just seen Bruce Springsteen for the first time, and somebody yelled out, "Do a Springsteen song," and I always loved that song, so I tried it, and it just stuck. Or I'll hear a song and think, I really want to sing that, and then it also has to kind of work for my voice. I have to feel good performing it. So there's a whole bunch of factors. But bottom line is I have to love the song and love singing the song.
I love that cover. It's so great.
Thank you.
When you are on the road or through your years in the music business, etc., and this wild business, how much has your college degree and your psychology degree come into play to make this this business? Is it something that you still practice? Is it something that people still come to you and talk to you about their problems?
No, the way I look at it is I just feel like it made me a more insightful, sort of wise, informed person to get all that training. And that's affected everything about the way I look at the world, the way I live. And it's just really valuable. But I don't see any kind of like direct line. Like I'm not like, sometimes people ask me, is writing therapy for you? No. Therapy is therapy. Writing is writing. Writing's a way of expressing oneself, but it's not therapy. So I don't see sort of the direct line, but it's there. It's there. I just don't see it.
I understand. My therapist has a beautiful shore house down in Jersey Shore because of my insurance money, because I keep her busy.
Yeah, I had a lot of therapy myself.
Yeah, it keeps me sane, and it's
Mm-hmm.
important, and all of that. And art's, as you said, in that form of expression as well. I'm sure that you have some other tricks up your sleeve. I hope there's more music to come, and that
I
there's
hope so too.
there.
Eventually.
No, but enjoy the time that you get to go on the road and promote this album and your catalog of music. We sure will be listening to it, and I will
Thank you.
to it.
Thank you, Robert.
I really do appreciate it. It is so moving to me to have people to share that you can get up there a piano or a guitar. And before I let you go, the album about your father and math and changing the title and all of that. Can you tell people a little bit about how that came to be? Because I found, as a school teacher now still, and the Pi Day was the other day. What was it like? And tell people how this idea came about.
Well, my dad was a mathematician, and he also was a very talented piano player, and he wrote songs just as a hobby. And I heard these songs growing up, and I sang them with him, a lot of them. And one day years ago, my husband suggested I might want to do one of my dad's songs in my show. And I did a song about pi, the number, and it was just a hit in my shows. I mean, I think every single show I do, someone will ask for that song if I haven't done it yet. So, and then my husband suggested recording a few of them. So that's how that happened. And originally called it Kaplansky Sings Kaplansky. And then I was joking on stage for years, wow, I really should have called it Kaplansky Squared. And then decided, okay, I'll just change the cover and change the name of it. It's the same CD. So and people love those songs of his.
They love it. Well, I have to send it over to I teach history, but I got to send it to the 5th grade math teacher.
Oh, definitely.
They just did it for Pi Day. So we have to share that over. And we played in elementary schools and for adults and children everywhere forever. I will be there on the 9th. I hope you can get your tickets, everybody, and come to City Winery, have a artisan pizza and a drink, and come hear some great music. You can find the link and all of the tour dates on lucykaplansky.com, and get the album so you're ready for the show, also available on the website. You are such a pleasure. It's such an honor to talk to you.
Thank you.
And
thank you for having me, Robert. I really appreciate it.
And enjoy. Best of luck to you. Thank you. Well, there you have it. The you all who have remained with me for an hour and a half. We started things off with Tanara. Everybody's so creative. We end things with Lucy Kaplansky. We have a little Tom Chapin in the beginning, in the middle, in the beginning we have Kendall Rae Johnson, and as always, we are just a fun old mess. We took an odd show the past 2 weeks. We did a folk show. We did a Married at First Sight show, and next week we're back to Broadway. Next week, we have stars of Dear Evan Hansen, Andrew Barth Feldman, and it will be here. He's huge with the youngsters. And Mickey Abraham, who got married and open shucked all in the same week, will all be here. And then following this month, we also have Robert and Kristen Lopez, who wrote Frozen and wrote Avenue Q and Book of Mormon. We have Montana Tucker, who's a huge artist and singing star, and a lot of other things up my sleeves. Lots of red carpets, lots of big stars, and stay with me. Follow me at Robert M. Bannon on Instagram so you can stay on top of everything. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. Share this show today. Yeah, Tom and Lucy are both talented and kind humans. Entertaining conversations, fantastic guests. For Earth Day, I thought so. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you all for being here. Happy Earth Day. Take care of the earth. Take care of one another. Remember, there's always more good than there is bad. There's more love than there is hate. And I sure do love you. Thank you all so much for being here. And until next week, I say, God bless you. Have a good one. The best is yet to come. Bye, everybody.